I just saw Avatar Way of the Water, and I really just wanted to say, if you guys haven't yet, please go and experience this in the cinemas because it is an amazing visual experience. Yet again, James Cameron and his crew, thousands and thousands of individuals who made this possible. They've just given us another kind of visual masterpiece, and it's definitely on another level because not only was it mesmerizing and breathtaking, but it was also, I think it was really immersive this time, that I found myself sort of holding my breath because I felt like I was underwater also. So while it has all these technical achievements that definitely exceeded our expectations, because it's James Cameron, of course he set the bar high. I think at the same time, the characters, they did have the depth, like you could see it in the design, but at the same time the characters needed depth too. But at the risk of sounding cheesy, it kind of falls on the surface or just kind of floats. But there's a lot more to unpack, you guys. Mild to heavy spoilers ahead. What's up, everybody? My name is Jen and you're watching The Screening Lady. In this video, we are going to talk about Avatar Way of the Water, the second sequel in about more than a decade since the first one. So I saw it in 3D over here in Robinson's Magnolia, and I think the first thing that we really have to say is just how completely innovative it is because of how immersive it made me feel. Like, for sure, we waited for the kind of technology to make something like this happen. Like, when it comes to the sea creatures, whether big or small, the use of 3D here definitely wasn't in your face. I kind of remember the first time I saw Avatar, it was in 3D also, and it kind of made me sick actually because it was my first 3D experience also, but it felt more of like an amusement ride, so to speak. But this one, it's really the intent here to be as part of the film as possible, and that's how I got it basically. Like, every time there are underwater scenes, I feel like I'm swimming with the creatures. I feel like I am in the environment, and like I said earlier, I was holding my breath a couple of times. It's really curious for me just how everything was made. So like, after making this video, I'm definitely gonna check out like behind the scenes. I heard Kate Winslet beat Tom Cruise's time for filming underwater. So go Kate. And at the same time, I think there is this little charming effect of being back in the theaters again, because I found myself in a full house, by the way, but I was seated beside a young, they were young parents with their little daughter, and it wasn't actually annoying, which is what I expected first. But because when you're with someone who is experiencing 3D for the first time, I think it kind of had a halo effect on me. So I was really enjoying the experience with her also. Like, she was, whoa, she was like, just, it was very cute, and it just had an effect on me also. So I really enjoyed that part of the visual treat that I got. I'm really curious, like, if it was the same with you guys. I don't know if you guys saw this in 3D. Was it kind of the same if you didn't see it in 3D? I think it might just be the same, really. But if you can, especially here in Manila or the Philippines in general, coming back to the cinemas, you gotta make it worth your while too. So since you're already there, if you want to experience movies again, I think 3D is the way to go. That said, though, I did say, all the what is it, like, the expertise of technology and visual direction and all that we have to credit Cameron and his team. I said the characters did have depth. Number one, you could just see it being more emotive, like in the mocap. And especially underwater also. Like, we have to remember, these guys were shooting underwater. So that's incredibly amazing also. So the technology, again, behind that is amazing. So when you see, the eyes, just different ranges of emotions, it's really great. But at the same time, for this sequel or this story, the characters that we're following, especially the ones we were familiar with, Jake and Neytiri, it required more depth from them also, because it was more of a personal story this time. And you know, we're talking about their family now and how they had to leave their current, like, I might butcher some of the terms because it's kind of fresh still for me, but they had to leave their camp or their forest world to go to SeaWorld because Jake has somehow, I don't know if he was a pacifist. That's how I was getting it, because now that he's become a dad, no, but he's sort of leading the rebellion, but wants to keep his family safe this time. So that's why they had to move to the SeaWorld, which is, you know, the reason why I'm kind of having difficulty in saying what the plot is, because it's, well, to me, I don't know with you guys if it made sense also. I mean, it flowed. I mean, it had to happen. We had to get the family into the sea, where I think James Cameron is more comfortable with, and that's the kind of world he wanted to show us. In terms of characters, we definitely meet the kids, and in particular, we're kind of more of following the second son. I'm not gonna talk so much about the plot or the story in general, but there were several moments there where I feel like things just had to happen around him. And the one thing that I really found not necessary at all was the death of his big brother, which I think only served the purpose to elevate Loak. Loak, is it Loak's name? You know, is to elevate his story. Other than that, I also want to talk real quickly about Kiri, because I think, number one, Sigourney Weaver playing her is absolutely brilliant. I thought for a second like it was another actress, and wow, she really looks like Sigourney Weaver. It turns out it's actually her, so that's pretty cool. But I like the myth surrounding her, because I've got a theory that she might actually be either Grace herself or Awa resurrected or something. I don't know. We're definitely gonna go into the myth later on, right? But while I did say that the characters had depth in this sequel, I wasn't just talking about the Navi people, but also the Tulkuns, if I am saying that correctly, if I remember correctly, the counterpart of the whales that we have. I think especially the sequence where, you know, the sky people were hunting them down. It's just, I think what I really liked about them was how emotive they were also. So, you know, and especially like whether it's done just with the eyes or with the sound design. The sound design is amazing, by the way. I didn't say enough to talk about that, but it was really cool. Also, I think the design and the artistic direction that they had for the Tulkuns were really great and stood out for me also. Other than that, there's plenty of other... I know I'm kind of having a hard time to talk about the plot, but, you know, again, if you can just help me understand also, that would be great. But I think a lot of the other questions are very, very minor, such as, you know, we all love Courage, of course. Like, it's great that he's back again, but I'm still curious why we needed to clone him versus just getting new ones. There's plenty of other macro themes involved in the film as well, whether we're talking about, you know, anti-colonialism, we're talking about fatherhood and family, and we're talking about, you know, environmental and animal issues as well, right? So I think the reason why it's all sort of like I don't know if I'm not gonna say incomplete, but more of we're left wanting more, because I think it's definitely a setup for the rest of the sequel that they have planned for Avatar, right? It'll be more complete when we get to Avatar 3. So that's why I think this is really just a setup. Way of the Water is more of a restart. That's how I'm getting it. And if anything, in true James Cameron fashion, we get the real sequel in Avatar 3, which might be just the same quality we'll get like from Terminator 2 or from Aliens and all of that. So I'm still pretty excited, and I'm glad to be seeing movies again that doesn't require like years and years. Well, no, this did require years also, but I'm just saying it's just so nice to have other films to watch, besides the obvious, superhero stuff. But other than that, I'm so excited and happy with the experience that I have. So check it out while you still can. It's great to be having this conversation with you guys. I'd love to know what you think of the movie, anything you loved or hated about it. And if you're curious to know all other, if I could do a lot more reviews or stick to reactions, I know this channel is very young, so any comment would be appreciated. Thank you so much for your time, you guys, for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!